It's a brother
and a sister.
It's a brother and a sister.
Brother and a sister. Yo, brother. Yo, sister.
Yo, brother. We should release our opening track. Spotify should put it on to... We should extend it and then just release it.
All my homies have been teasing me about our opening track.
It's fine.
They're like, were you guys in the same room when you guys were recording this?
Does it sound like we weren't?
It sounds like I was just like, I had a bad day. Sometimes I listen to it, I was like, yo, what was I
Why?
going through? Huh? Because my energy's so low, your energy's so high.
But that's just how we are.
Yeah.
Every time I listen to the podcast or watch, I sound like I'm adjudicating in front of thousands of people.
Yeah.
I'm just like that.
And I sound like I'm not happy to be here.
Yeah, excuse.
That's just my tone. But I'm very excited.
But I see you, I recognize you.
Thank you.
And I accept you.
I hope they see me too.
Yeah.
Because I do love it.
See
over
him.
Here.
His name is Khabani Mboloyi.
I hope Spotify sees me too, because I love it over here.
We're happy over here, hey?
Thank you, Spotify.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I introduced you.
To?
No, like now. So you can introduce me.
Oh, hi. So this is a brother and a sister podcast, and the lady sitting across from me is my sister, Babi Muloy. Very amazing, very gracious, very talented, multi-talented.
Multi-talented, but you are multi-talented. These are new.
Yeah, these are new.
These are your new art pieces.
Yeah, I want to get more into the art space, like the visual art space. Comedy's been cool. Comedy's been good. Top 5 for sure.
Yeah, top 5.
But in terms of just like the visual art space, I've been going to a lot of art galleries lately.
Yes.
And I'm just like, nah, man, I
can do that.
Yeah, because I don't want to grow up being an old resentful man.
Yeah.
On some, back in I could have done that. Like, I don't want to be that guy. So shout outs all the artists that have been inspiring me lately. And hopefully I can,
So graduation came around and you were very young, very impressionable. And I know how much you fell in love with Kanye West.
Graduation, the album. Yes.
And his thinking and his rapation and the hooks and the art, which you've got tattooed to you.
Dude, I have a graduation tattoo on my leg.
So how does that make you feel with 2025 Kanye? Or do you miss the old Kanye?
At this point, I don't know what the old Kanye was. Because, to be fair, my, I guess, actual introduction of starting to pay attention to Kanye, I signed up for it because I knew what I was going to be dealing with.
How did you know?
Cause in terms of just the crazy rants, I kind of knew I was going to be dealing with that. Because I started liking Kanye or paying attention to him after Yeezus.
Oh, I see. And then retrospectively, you fell in love with his music.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
So Yeezus was the album that I was paying attention to Kanye dropping albums.
Got you.
But then I went back and then my favorite album is College Dropout.
Yes.
And then I started listening to Graduation and all the other albums and just being like, whoa, this man's discography is amazing. But only from 2013 did I actually start paying attention. And when
what
Kanye
was on Yeezus?
Why can't I remember?
Putting you on the spot, sorry.
Why can't I remember that track?
Yes, I know that song.
I don't know why I can't remember the track.
You'll remember it. I know that song.
I feel so embarrassed, like I'm not an actual Kanye fan.
No, but I know you are. I'm sorry, I put you on the spot. But I'm just trying to think what was on Yeezus, because I think at that point I dropped out of fanhood. That's what I'm trying to figure out. So was it before or after 808s and Heartbreaks?
It definitely were after 808s and Heartbreak.
Yeah.
It's I think came out in like 2010.
That's where my fandom was like, I can't anymore.
Nah, because that album, it was like there's even a line in the song at the beginning of the song where like the beginning of the album, where he's like these weird robotic noises that most people already are turned off from the album.
Yeah.
And then in the middle there's a pause break where he starts sampling and doing like graduation, college dropout type sounds. And he's like, the sample literally says, I'll give you what you need. It may not be what you want. And then he goes back to like this like weird sound, and he's pretty much telling us like, yo, this is not the album for you to like me. This is the album for me to say fuck you guys. Or
Yeah. And I felt fucked, so I left.
Yeah,
I was just like, it's fine.
And by you guys, I meant the industry. Like
Yeah?
the industry, because he wanted to veer off into fashion and all these other things.
Listen, we got affected.
Yeah, and I was just, in my mind, I was like, you know what, I can support this guy because he's a black man that is, you know, trying to climb up the corporate ladder, and he's doing his best.
And he was also in multiple car accidents.
And people just keep fucking him over. Like, man, through the wire, man. Like, come on, he made graduation. So whenever he was doing those rants, I was cool with it. And then slavery was a choice happened. And then I was like, okay.
It's very hard to come back from that one.
Okay.
Because even when he said George Bush hates black people,
yeah.
I was like, yes.
Like that felt like a very fighting for the underdog situation. Yeah. But then it was like
slavery is a choice.
Slavery is a choice, and I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna say about that one. Then he did the red cap thing, and like he was going on SNL preaching. He's like, man, they won't let me just love. Come on, man, I can be racist and be, you know, part of the people. I was just like, okay, this is getting a lot. And then Harriet Tubman doesn't care about black people. Okay.
Harriet Tubman didn't care about black people. No,
Harriet Tubman didn't care. He said she didn't really free the slaves. She like more so did like he was just making
being weird,
you know.
And then all the stuff that happened with Kim.
All the stuff that happened. Hey man, that's not my relationship. But still, it was wild, and it just got worse and worse and worse.
It is worse. I think it's at its apex of worseness.
Being a fan of Kanye West in 2025, I think we need reparations. We need reparations. We need some form of compensation. This thing is tough. It's a full-time job. I didn't realize during slavery was a trade. That was just the internship. This is a full-time job. It's very strange. I'm losing hair.
Do you find you are? Do you find that you have to defend your fandom?
Not necessarily. Some people make it easy. Like a Beyonce fan, a Rihanna fan.
It's easy.
A Billie Eilish fan. Generally, they're not like problematic people. You know, people try and say they're part of the Illuminati or whatever, but they're not.
Yeah.
They don't actually do things. As individuals, when you look at what they've done, they focus on the music. Being a Kanye fan is tough. But also it's tough because then he does things that make you go, you see, it was all worth it in the end. Where,
like what? Name one thing.
Like then he'll be
the
like
new hoodies.
But that's what I'm saying. Back in the day, in 2013, when you first hearing him going on these rants saying, fuck the industry and the winter, this, and you're like, dude, chill, relax. Why are you shouting at Zane Lowe?
Yes.
And then,
he's so
hot. When he's like saying, like, you ain't got the answers, Sway. You ain't got the answers. And you're like, why are you shouting at this poor black man? You know, like, just, he's doing his best. And then a year later, now he's signed with Adidas. He's dropping the Yeezus collection. Yes. And it's one of the biggest brands in the world. And now he's one of the richest black men that have ever lived in America. Then you're like, oh, it was all worth it in the end because, like, he's ranting for the underdogs and all of that stuff. And then now in 2025, now you see him saying fuck Virgil and you're like, oh.
But Virgil was his BFF.
That's why it's like,
they pulled each other up. He lost his life because of cancer.
And then he says things that's like, thank you for being a part of my social experiment, which makes you think, can he come back from this? I'm such a denier of like the truth. It's so obvious it's done. But he's done it before.
It's really sad. It's like watching your genius brother or friend deteriorate right in front of your eyes.
Do you know what it is? It's watching the girl you had a crush on hang out with that guy you know is terrible.
Yes.
It's just like, bro.
And you can see the light goes out in her eyes. She lets herself go a little bit. She does this differently. She drops out of university. Like all of those things, which aren't necessary to be a great person. But you can see there was the one trajectory she could have taken. And then she met Uber.
Uber. They bloody Uber.
Bloody Uber. But it's fine.
Speaking about the bloody Uber. Some of the Upas are leaving. I don't know if they're actually gonna leave. Is that being confirmed that they can
I
be?
mean, there are a few thousand who have already spoken to the US to try and make that application to leave.
Mm-hmm.
But the actual, I don't think they're a political party. They're a group that looks after a certain race group's interests, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they've turned around and said, "Listen, we know we came to Trump. We know we said that we're being genocided here.
Mm.
We know this is what we said, what we did, and what we pushed for. But like not that far. We don't actually. That's not what we meant.
This is a Afri forum.
Yes,
Yeah?
that's
Okay.
not what we meant.
Yes.
We're just like, come do something here to stop us from feeling the brunt of what we may have done or our ancestors may have done in the past. But thanks for the invite. But we've got farms and stuff here, so we're not gonna just come and be in a refugee camp. But thanks for listening to us.
Appreciate you, big dog.
Yeah.
When we need something,
Yeah,
we'll definitely hit you up again.
Donnie T, you've heard us.
Donnie T and Nelly M. Yeah, this country. Cupcake. You know, we have kind of what Zuma's one. Zuma has one.
There was a lot. There was the shower head. There was Mshinwam. There was a lot.
Bro. That's wild. That's just wild. How do you feel about it? I know you have like,
What?
I know you sang this theme once or twice in your life.
I grew up believing in the rainbow because that's the propaganda that we were told.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of rainbowization. We were painted over. There was never a sense of, giving us as Black people a better identity, understanding who we are. There was classism, racism that was all just painted over.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yes, you're absolutely right. I have a huge group of Afrikaans friends.
Mm-hmm.
Willem, Lisa. These are like close people in my life.
The fact that like Willem and Lisa are just like William and Lisa. But
yes. But they're Willem and Lisa, exactly.
Yeah.
And so I've never had there's never been that kind of direct impact into my personal life. But obviously on a macro level in South Africa, we can see what's happening with a minority of people owning the land. And it's really about being displaced. It's about being disenfranchised. It's about historically what the impact of that is. Because historically, if our grandmother, her father's land was taken away. So it's not like 50 generations ago. This is our grandmother, our mother's mother's dad, right? And he had land, and we went through that whole process recently, in recent times, like in the last 15 years, where you had to go back and identify the land that you grew up on and get the land back. Nothing ever came of that.
Okay.
And so if we were still able to have that, we'd have somewhere to go away on the holidays. We'd have something to cultivate. We'd have options in our lives, which were very different to the options that we had when Nana raised us. So it's things like that I look at and I go, all right, these need to be redressed. And so what Cyril Ramaphosa, our president, is doing is absolutely correct to do that. And there are very specific ways in the Constitution. I think this is where people go, Wah! And they go nuts. There are very specific ways to do the land repatriation without compensation. It's in the Constitution, and we've done it all the right way. The president has done it all the right way.
Yes.
There's no real endangerment to
anyone's life,
the Constitution, which really is what we run on, right?
Yes.
So for me,
we need to have
I blame Donnie T.
Yeah.
That reality TV star has come here to create a reality TV show. And here we are, mere moments after his inauguration. And he's taken away all of the funding to different African countries. He's with Elon Musk. He's coming to save the Afrikaners. Come over here, which is fine. If that's a choice you want to make, that's absolutely fine. There's no issue with that. But then he's also done weird things like he signed that paper straws no longer must be used. He's gone back to plastic straws. Tell me that is a serious man who has sat in the highest office and he's signed a document declaring that he wants plastic straws. And you know how he talks? Well, you know,
we need the plastic straws.
These cardboard straws
It's
have
not gonna
been
work for me.
awful. It's just been terrible. You can't use them. It's disgusting. It's terrible.
Mm-hmm.
We're going back to plastic straws.
Yeah.
Can you take that seriously?
I've never been able to take him seriously purely because of the fact that he's never been able to really double down on things.
Yeah.
Like even when like trans rights issues were first brought up to him, generally, and you know, this is most American presidents, because say similar things happened with Obama, where when they first came up to Obama about
Obama can do no wrong. Don't talk bad about my boy Obama.
When they first came up to Obama about gay rights issues, he was a bit hesitant at first, but then you know he met Ellen and he was like, "Y'all are okay, you lesbians. You know, now that I know you, I don't know.
Let's dance.
I can approve. And then it's the same thing with Trump, where you can see, I don't know who he's been hanging out with outside of Elon, but like it's that thing of when they first brought up trans issues to him, he's like, I'd prefer not to speak on that. Nah, it's not really, it doesn't matter. And then now he's like paper straws and trans people. Aye.
But I mean, if you have a TV show and the channel is funding your TV show, you're going to adjust your content to what the channel wants you to do.
Yes.
It's exactly aligned here. Elon is in his ear. There's a whole bunch that's going on that he now is bending and twisting and shucking and jiving.
The only conclusion I have with all of this, is that I pray Elon Musk doesn't go to Mars. Because imagine this man goes to space and the way how he's talking shit about South Africans to Americans, as soon as he gets to space, this nigga's gonna tell all the aliens that Earth is trash.
Yeah.
So I'm not.
So what? They'll invade Earth?
I don't know what they'll do, but there's some type of. I just know the ambassadors of Earth are gonna have to do an They're gonna have to hit an AfriForum and be like, no, we like it here. Exactly what AfriForum did to America is what the world is gonna have to do to Mars. Or whatever aliens are out there.
No, I think there'll be some people at the forefront who want to go into straight up war.
Yeah.
They'll just be war.
We can beat them aliens.
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know. I'm what's that feeling when you drive past a car accident and you have to watch the whole way through? Yeah, that's how I feel about American politics right now.
But now it's actually affecting us. Yeah. A part of me also is like, I'm kind of jealous
of
like Afrikaans people getting like the opportunity, or there's a chance that they can go to America, because I kind of want to go to America.
Okay.
We talk about so many American topics clearly, you know, and not like on some I hate it over here. It's just the things that I've always been fascinated in. So I'm like a little bit jealous, like, damn. I literally picked up an Afrikaans textbook the other day, like maybe if I could just...
You mean for the first time in your whole life?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
We work hard, man. We work hard.
No, listen, that's why I said earlier, there's no judgment. Like, do what you need to do for your family, fine, whatever. But I also get what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
I get what you're saying. Oh, can I say a really terrible thing?
Mm-hmm.
That's why there's some individuals in South Africa. I find it very difficult. I have an internal struggle when someone's like, I have dual citizenship, or I have name a European country's passport.
Because dual citizenship sounds nice until the other citizenship, like the other place you have a citizenship to, is like a place with clicks in the name. Like too many clicks, you know what I mean? Like,
what do you mean?
Like a place that's going to war. Like if you have dual citizenship with Congo, then it's like, do you?
But who of us do? For me, it's the option. There's always an option. You know me with options. So there's always an option you can just pick up and go to wherever. Where are we going to go?
Yeah, no, we're screwed.
Where are we going to go?
Zimbabwe could, I'm pretty sure.
I would pick Namibia or Ghana, to be honest.
I'm pretty sure Malawi and Zimbabwe like us. Kind of.
But to
Somewhat.
build a life, bruh.
I mean, we'll be rich if we go there.
Maybe.
1 rand is like 3 million.
Okay, I don't know if we should go down this route. I don't know if we should go down this route.
I'm joking. Do you know also why I would have loved to go to America?
Tell me.
I wanted to see the Super Bowl live.
Yeah.
That Super Bowl was amazing. I really enjoyed watching Kendrick's performance. Those bootleg jeans was like...
It was nice for us millennials because it took us back to when we wore those Miley Cyrus ass jeans.
Sad times, man. I think they're coming back.
I've still got all of mine from 20 something.
Yeah, no. Flare jeans,
So from all of the political observations, all of the tiny nuances, the Samuel L. Jackson coming out as Uncle Sam, from all of that, all you saw were his jeans.
No, I mean, they were very noticeable.
Oh.
Say, Drake, I heard you like him. Yeah, that was like probably my favorite part. Also, just the idea of like a beef. Imagine hating someone so much.
Yeah.
So much. You win 5 Grammys and get to perform at the Super Bowl. That's a beautiful level of hate.
It's petty LaBelle. It is the height of petty.
Like,
yeah, it's woo.
Yeah.
And they were mates at one point. Weren't they like top 3 or the Kings?
Kendrick he was on tour with Drake.
Yeah.
Drake took him on his tour. He was one of the openers.
Maybe he saw so much that
And
he was like, one day.
I'm going to tell.
One day.
I'm gonna tell.
When?
That's someone's little sister, bro.
Watch your back.
I heard you like
Canada.
Yeah, I know. It's such a wild flip to just think like 2013, they were like this singing poetic justice. And now 2025, it's like, say Drake.
I'd like to A minor. I'd like to see more of that in South African music.
Beef.
Because the symbolism, the protest, the real dialogue about what's happening in reality in South Africa.
And put that in our art.
Yes.
True.
Because we had a lot of that.
Yes.
With Miriam Makeba and Hugh Masekela going all over the world and talking about the plight of South Africa and creating music where there were messages embedded in the music. Some got banned. Some had to skip the country. And then even into the 80s and 90s, there were, messages put into the music to conscientize us. And then suddenly...
it just kind of stopped.
Yeah, we were like, well, we're free now.
It's the bloody koelas. That's what it is. They're always talking about what the ko and what the kwa is, but they're not talking about the political state of the climate right now.
And if they quelled about the political climate and economic state of
then
Africa,
would be quelling to their highest level.
The highest level. Not to blame anyone, but I just don't think you don't feel the past as palpably as maybe I do.
No.
Do you feel?
Whenever I feel like
Whenever
I feel like I'm losing my roots, I just go back and watch some Sarafina, and then I'm like, you know what? Damn, I'm upset again.
What did they say about that teacher?
Which one?
The one who is...
Oh, Whoopi Goldberg.
Who committed suicide.
Yo, dude, when they killed Whoopi Goldberg, that thing kills your spirit. Because then you see, there's the scene where the policeman is looking at Sarafina, and she's like, where's my teacher? And she's like, she killed herself. And he's so smug about she killed herself. And then she's like, no, she wouldn't have done that. She jumped off the 12th floor. She was a very sad woman. And you're just there like... It just revs you up. As soon as you see that scene, then you just start like, yo, you just want to...
And that's also the thing, because that's not generations and generations and generations ago.
No, it's not.
There's a real reason why black and white photography is used to tell the story of 1976, to make you feel so distant from it. But our my mom's brothers were in the fights in 1976. It's not far. It's not some great historical thing that happened years and years and hundreds of years ago.
No, if you need
it was just now.
If you need the motivation to toy, just watch Sarafina, and then
I think that should be recommended watching. Maybe not once a year, because it's a lot. Maybe every
It's a
second year.
it's a musical. You know, if you watch the first like 10 minutes of Sarafina and the last 5 minutes of Sarafina, that is actually such a wholesome, fun story.
Festive.
Because then you watch the first 10 minutes and it's like,
Yeah.
it's vibes. And then the last one is just, freedom is coming tomorrow. Issue. And then you're like, okay, cool. What a great story.
But everything in between tells the truth.
It gets
and
hectic.
you ain't ready for the truth.
It gets hectic. But
you can't handle the truth.
a part of me really, really wants to believe that, like, I don't think it's a black and white racial issue
Not anymore. No.
Like, black people hating white people hating black people. Yeah, of course, there's still some people that do, but like
outrightly, yeah.
I don't think that's actually the issue. It's the same thing with like the narrative of women and men hating each other.
Yeah.
I think it's honestly a capitalist issue more so than anything. Because now the people that black people are upset with are black people.
The elite.
Yeah, the elite.
There's a classism issue that we're facing now.
And that's how I've been feeling generally towards even our current, like our work culture in South Africa, in the world generally, where people will constantly say like, oh, you're struggling, things are hard, just work harder.
Yeah, pull yourself up by your bootstraps.
Yeah, you're not doing enough.
I ain't got boots.
And it's like,
I don't have straps.
You and I were talking about it the other day about, we saw the TikTok and the TikTok said...
Yeah, but we kind of disagreed on this. So this TikTok said that in her 20s, this woman was like, she's always been told, work hard, you know, don't get sleep, do everything that you can to build up a, you know, retirement fund and make sure you can look after yourself. But actually, why aren't we more focused on our friendships, our relationships, cultivating who we are as people, finding and discovering ourselves, meditating, going for walks, smelling the roses? These are the things that we actually should do. Travel, see the world. You don't want to travel when you're in your 70s or 80s after retirement, because that's the only time that you don't have a 9 to 5. Travel now. You're young. You can bungee jump. Why don't you bungee jump? Bungee jump. And I was like, no.
Bungee jumping costs money.
Yeah, I don't.
And money requires work. That's how you're feeling.
The time that you have the most energy is that time when you finish school. If you go to university, you go to university and your 20s and maybe your early 30s. You have strength, stamina, and just the right amount of stupidity to go for it hard.
Yes.
And work. So what's wrong with capitalizing on that time and energy and strength and mentality and ability to take risks? And take the risks and do what you need to do and amass what you can amass.
Okay.
That's my point of view.
Fair.
There will come a time where even your body tells you to walk and smell the roses.
Fair. I think, yeah, there is a big in between, because there is a level of like, people have maybe a sense of entitlement towards like life shouldn't be hard and I just, you know, I should be able to travel and go wherever I want.
I wonder where that comes from.
And I think it's also the thing of like, we can't necessarily regulate how much suffering a person should have to endure until life can at least be not necessarily luxurious.
Yeah.
But
livable.
Livable.
Yeah.
Like the idea of if you work hard enough, everything's going to work out is a bit unfair.
Right. I agree with that completely. Yes.
Where people, I get what you're saying. When you're younger, those are your hustle years, those are your grinding years, those are your figuring it out years. You know, you don't have...
And laying foundations.
Yes. Like, you don't have to bungee jump. Life is a bit of a bungee jump already, so...
That is why, whenever I get asked to do extreme sports, I'm like, hey, I'm a black woman living in South Africa. Already, that is an extreme sport. So I'm fine on the ground.
You should start, as soon as someone says, why don't you do extreme sports? Just say, have you watched Sarafina? And then leave it there. Just leave it there.
This episode evidently is brought to you by Sarafina, so shout out.
Great movie.
Shout out.
The acting was amazing. I couldn't even tell Samisi was gay in that movie.
Okay,
No,
listen.
I don't know where that came from. I'm so sorry.
But even he is such a great example of somebody who worked so hard from a very young age, was able to amass themselves whatever they did and then create a brand that people wanted to work with their specific talents that they honed in on. And whether rightly or wrongly or whatever your personal feeling is, they're able now to live. Does that make sense?
I 100% get you. And there's levels to it, because also now I'm trying not to use that Sumisi example, because like clearly the way how, I'm not saying how he got to this point was sus, but like clearly it had a toll on him as well, because you can see with the situations with Bo, ex-husband's name, Mihlali, ne?
Yeah.
And all of those type of
Mohale.
situations, Muhale, sorry. You can see how like that toxic work culture can affect the person, and like it's also that idea of like, if you work hard enough, you are almost deserve these things, where that entitlement thing still comes
So
about.
wait, I don't understand. So if you work hard enough, you're entitled to
like, I guess, control. And it's like that thing of like, I should be allowed to do whatever I want, however I want.
Is that how you perceive
I can
it?
treat people however I want. No, but I mean, you've seen it. You've had to deal with it, even where like you can see like there's certain people in higher up positions that, yes, they've worked very hard to get to those positions, and like it's a thing of the hustle culture exempts you from treating people with a decent amount of respect because I'm at a higher position than you.
I wouldn't necessarily put that on hustle culture.
Okay.
I think there's certain people who are incredibly egotistical, perhaps a sprinkling of our favorite word, narcissistic.
I wish we could animate the word narcissist.
Yeah, narcissists. We see you. Who are going to do that regardless of their position in life.
Yeah.
They're people who want to be controlling. They're people who are going to be dismissive of other people regardless of their position in life.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think that there is a causality that one being hardworking and making it in life, or settling with what you have, and being an asshat are necessarily like one comes from the other. I don't think so. But I do understand what you're saying about maybe what makes you go is that you have a need to control your environment. And so maybe that can lead you to not necessarily treating people well. But I've had great leaders in my life who are still able to have a sense of humanity and who are still empathetic, but are sitting in these very big decision-making positions. So I don't necessarily think the two are connected. Okay. I think a lot of people who get to these spaces are the people who aren't necessarily like
good people,
overly, feeling and take into accountability. But I don't know, whatever makes you sleep well at night, because I know I wouldn't be able to sleep well at night knowing that to make myself feel tall, I'm a step on someone else. That feels shameful to me.
Yeah.
And that's probably why I'm not a trillionaire now, because I won't do that.
You won't step on a neck to elevate.
I won't do that. And I've had my neck stepped on by people who want to elevate through my name, through my positions, through whatever contacts I have. And I always send them off with love through my middle finger with so much love.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. You have whatever you do that you can sleep at night, go for.
100%. Okay, that's fair. I do agree with that. I think, again, there is that midpoint where there's the idea of hustle culture, work for what you're supposed to get, And that's 100% like
What
that's
you want.
what you want.
What do you want?
Mm,
In your 20s, I think that's the most pivotal time to think about what you want.
mm.
What do you want? And you can make mistakes. You can go down a route where suddenly you're qualified, you're a dentist, you're working on someone's mouth, and you're like, all I want to do is make drum music.
Mm-hmm.
And you can put that in the back file and then go make music. You have the elasticity, the dynamism. You can do it in your 20s. That's the time to do it. That's what I think personally.
If my dentist made go music, I don't know.
They'd go home dentist. And then they'd have a podcast.
You're gonna get cavities.
No, I don't think
You're
so.
gonna get
You're a
cavities.
good dentist. You're a good producer. You can be good at multiple things.
I refuse.
No.
I dispute that.
If your dentist was a musician, you
There's
wouldn't go
no
see
ways
them.
you're dropping dope beats on the weekend and then
dope
you're just,
fillings.
And come on.
So what do you want to do in your 20s?
What I'm doing already, but just better, more optimally. Like I want to
Okay.
be able to like. I think something that I've been sleeping on with myself is monetization.
Okay.
Because there's a level of like, as an artist, you feel like there's a bit of selling yourself, and it makes you feel a little yucky.
Okay.
But you kind of have to do that, and you have to just accept that. You know, there's certain things where you make art for yourself, cool, but then you also need to make art to live off of, and that is a thing as artists you're just gonna have to accept. And it's
I was at the market the other day, and this man, I came across a stall, and it was the most moving piece of art I've seen in a long time. It was so moving. And I know if I describe it in words, it's not going to give you the same impression, but it was a long canvas like this with black face, black arm, black
You like
legs.
blackface?
Legs.
You like blackface?
And they had white turbans.
Need to watch Sakrafina again.
And white do-rags. No, it's not a do-rag. It's a what? A kanga. Like they were wearing white somethings. Essentially, it was the stark black and white. And it was these women who were just there, moving through life, holding each other's hands. It was so moving to me. So I asked the guy how much it costs. And he said 35
Rand.
So I was like, 35,000. So I accepted 35,000 because you and I always talk about art, and where you price your art initially is where you're going to land every time. So you can go up, but you can't go down from that price. And I was like, 35,000 at the market. Okay. So I went and I looked at some of his smaller pieces, and then we ended up having a conversation. And I said, so, I mean, how does business move at the market when you're selling canvases for 35,000 Rand? And he was like, oh, no, my sister. It's 3,500 Rand. This is a public market. But when I go into a gallery, then I'll be able to price it at that point. So that's what makes him live, selling 3.5 pieces. But he also knows that in a different space, he can charge a different rate.
Okay.
So you've got to almost make those concessions for yourself. What am I willing to do to live?
Oh, that's so deep. That is so deep. And it's weird because also, how do you measure what art is worth? You know? Because you'll see two artists, you'll see one that's clearly way more talented than the other. And it's not even they'll say, yeah, I know this one is clearly more experienced with the pen and he knows what he's doing. But this one is getting paid a way higher price for their art. And it's because of their name, how they've marketed themselves, the galleries they've worked with before.
Correct.
The way they've gone about, like the grind of it all, where it is very disheartening to think that like a person that isn't necessarily selling good art is still considered a better artist than you because their business acumen is better.
I want to understand why you're taking it so deep.
Why am I taking it so deep?
Yeah.
Because I've seen a lot of artists, and I'm only 23, and I've already seen so many people quit to just go to corporate because there's like the level of like, I know I'm dope, but that business acumen of it all, I can't do it.
You can't do it?
Not that they can't. I don't want to say they're not willing to do it, but it's that thing of like, it doesn't resonate, it doesn't like, it just, that part, that aspect. And it's so crazy. I remember seeing Pharrell talk about it, where he's
Okay.
like, bro, if you're not good at the art business of it, then you're not gonna actually be a good artist.
Okay.
You're not a good artist in general, which is like, that kind of cut deep. And it's like, because the thing with art business is that you need to be able to grow with your art, and it must be able to grow you financially, all of that stuff. Because if you only cared about the art, then you would literally only be making art for yourself.
Correct.
And just drawing, painting, and whatever at your crib, never
So
showing
I want to
anybody.
understand why we feel often, and I'm a creative,
Mhm.
so I understand how this feels.
Mhm.
I didn't like doing accounting at school or
Mhm.
business at school, but why do we feel like it's fixed? Like we can't learn how to do those things. We can't learn how to promote ourselves, to interact with the right galleries, to get onto the right platforms. Why do we feel like what we know is it?
Oh,
Growth mindset versus fixed mindset.
I think also there's a level of, now it's not necessarily about the art as well. So, like I was saying earlier, one artist might be better at the actual making of the art, and the other artist is better at being commercial and like
Sure.
putting it out there. And I think it's that thing of, you have to have, it almost feels like you have to have a larger of life persona to be able to be extremely successful, because galleries will only accept a certain amount of artists because they can only actually help fund a certain amount of artists. There's a finite amount of galleries, there's a finite amount of sponsorships, it's a finite amount. So even if you are one of the best, even if you are good at learning how to market yourself or whatever, you still might not get it. And I think that's the thing that always trips people up, is that you can be amazing at everything you do and be consistent with everything you do and still fail, you know? And I think that's the part that,
But
like,
that's life.
I know that's
And
life.
listen, I'm not making myself better because I've also experienced that feeling. I
Mhm.
also know what that feeling feels like,
Mhm.
you know?
Mhm.
I understand feeling like there's so many aspects that I'm good at, but will my age start to preclude me from opportunities?
Also, just by the way,
Will
I'm not justifying that mindset.
No, I get
Just
you.
putting that out there.
So then what are you saying?
No, I'm just acknowledging it.
Oh,
As in,
okay.
like, it should be acknowledged that as a person, you will work hard, and since you were 23, and you're only gonna get your big break at 53. But the idea, like that idea of that, is so disheartening. It can stop someone from doing their thing already.
That's hard. I acknowledge that too.
You know,
Acknowledged.
you've been acknowledged.
You've been acknowledged.
But to quote, I guess it's not a quote because I'm paraphrasing. Seth Rogen
Oh, yes.
is
I am aware of him.
yeah, he's the pig in Lion King. Yeah,
Best role he's ever played.
issue. Uh, he said, if you do the thing, probably won't happen, but there's still a chance that you will do it as long as you keep doing it. There's a
And
chance.
if you?
And if you quit, then it's definitely not gonna happen.
Yeah.
So don't quit. Just don't quit. If you really want the thing to happen, please don't quit. As disheartening as it might be to see people that you might consider way more undeserving or whatever than you getting the things that you feel as though you should have, don't give up. Yeah,
Sure.
don't give up.
This is motivational message brought to you on A Brother and a Sister by Khabani Moloi.
Issue.
Viva.
Sarafina.
I wanted to say something about all of that.
Are you lost?
Because, yeah, I've forgotten it.
Are you confused right
I
now?
don't know what the hell I wanted to say.
Do you know what made me feel good though, in terms of people that are dope at their arts?
Oh,
getting
I
their
know what I wanted
roles?
to say.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Do you want to say?
No, you
it?
say your thing first.
I was gonna say, I went out watching the Grammys.
Yes.
And after I was watching the Grammys, and I saw Doechii win rap album of the year.
Sheesh. The
And
performance was Beyonce levels.
Yeah, it's amazing.
So this is what I wanted to say.
Mm-hmm.
Jennifer Lopez,
Okay,
as you know,
that's the one.
is one of my divas.
The block.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And all of the weird controversies around her and all of that. I don't believe there's anybody necessarily who works as hard. We don't count Beyonce in all of these conversations, right? We're looking at mortals here,
Mm-hmm.
and then Beyonce is there. But Jennifer Lopez works so hard.
Yes.
I read an article where she said to give herself a treat every now and then, she'll have a slice of bread. So she understands that her body is a part of her art, is a part of her career. So she won't eat funny things.
Okay.
Do you get what I'm saying? So that kind of sacrifice, that kind of mindset, that kind of, she's dancing every day. She's
Endurance.
pushing herself to sing these songs. And many people say, what about her? She can't sing. She's not talented. She's a dancer, not a singer. Does that woman care?
J-Lo, you got to thank your ass. Because if that ass decides to go solo, you out of a job.
But this is the thing. Your talent is going to be beaten by people who work hard.
Yeah.
You can't sit with your talent and just lament and compare.
Yes.
Someone who works harder and who puts these things into place
will always get more than the person that's just talented.
That's what I wanted to say.
Yes.
I'm done now. I don't think I have any more words.
I was just gonna let me finish the point with Doji.
Okay.
With all that being said about the working hard aspect, firstly, seeing Doji come up, because I didn't see her rise to fame and everything.
Yeah.
But she never deleted any of her old YouTube videos.
Yeah.
And a lot of her old YouTube videos are of her talking to camera, talking about her mindset, saying, I gotta work harder, I gotta figure this out. And the thing that went viral after she won a Grammy was this video of her. She's like, I just got fired from my job. And she's just eating chips and she's just like, I don't even give a fuck. Tomorrow I'm just gonna go out and I'm gonna go to every record label and just wait outside their door and just pitch. Like, I don't even give a fuck. And then 5 years later, you see her winning an award that only 2 other black women have gotten before her.
Another example like J-Lo is one of the black women who won that. Certified Freak. 7 days a week. Cardi B came into the game and she was like, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make some money rapping. And then I'll sneak out of the rap game. That's it. And look what she's doing. So it's mindset. And we're not saying that it's consistent every day. Some days you have half a glass of mindset. Some days your cup is overflowing with mindset. But as long as you're consistent and you have mindset, the things can happen. And we're not discounting that we are in an incredibly unequal society. So there are going to be many fundamental blocks to this. You can't control that. You can control you.
I'm sorry, I'm disappointed.
I'm not letting you talk bad about Cardi B.
I'm just disappointed.
I'm not allowing it.
I'm disappointed.
I'm not permitting it.
We were on a roll. We were mentioning like J-Lo.
You're not into Cardi B?
Doechii. You could have even said, because there was one other black woman that has gotten the rap album.
But she is a rapper.
You could have brought up Lauryn Hill, and you were just like, Cardi B. I don't know what I want to do with you.
All I really think about is money. All I really love is money.
I'm not even hating on Cardi B.
I love Cardi B.
Yes, I am. What am I saying?
Why?
I 100% am. Nah, bruh.
I don't trust men who hate on Beyonce without a real reason and who hate on Cardi B without a real reason.
I can give you a plethora of reasons. I just think, honestly, I don't even hate her or her music.
Listen to these words, hate. And he's wearing red.
I hate the fact that she won that Grammy that year.
Because of who else was in it.
There was looking back at it and looking at the options of who could have won the Grammy, I'm not even like a Travis Scott fan like that. But if that didn't win the Grammy, it could have been Mac Miller. He had one of the best. Not Macklemore. I know you think about the other white boy.
No,
but he had one of the greatest albums ever.
You sound very much like your idol Kanye.
But it's true. See, even that. It was one of the most realest moments because he wasn't going up busy defending some foolish Nazi thing. He went up saying Beyonce had one of the best videos of all time. Do you even know what video won?
I do know. I don't know what video won. I know the artist, and I know which video was in the running for that.
Single Ladies lost to Taylor Swift.
Like, unfair things happen.
This is, for right now, what I'm doing right now is speaking on the unfair thing. Cardi should not have won a Grammy that year. But that being said,
thank you for your opinion.
Who am I?
Zim Zimmer.
I'm just
Who
the brother.
got the keys to my bimmer? Who am I?
I'm just the brother.
And I'm just a sister.
What's your favorite song from the album?
Which album?
Exactly. That's Babi Muloy. My name is Khabani Muloy. This is a brother and a sister.
It's Money. Definitely Money. I love that song.
I don't think that song
was it the album? Okay. Oh, of course.
No.
It's Bodak Yellow.
What's that even?
Bye.
Okay. See you guys. Bye-bye.
It is Bodak Yellow, right? I don't know either.
See? Amazing album.
Maybe it's not the art. It's the artist. It's the heart of the artist.
Shout out to Cardi B.
But also look how I like big bummed women, eh?
Shout out to Sarafina.
Beyonce, J-Lo, Kanye.
Now. And Kanye.
Thank you. This was fun.
Yeah, I enjoyed this.